Hey, Clemson family, we just want to bring you a few of the highlights from ACC Kickoff Media Days where several of the Tigers spoke.
Yeah, what a day. Cade Klubnik there, Tyler Davis, Will Putnam, and of course, Dabo Sweeney.
Bet. I'm Bill Zimmerman. Welcome to the Reign Supreme Alway podcast, along with Daniel Shirley. We want to be one of your sources for information and analysis on the Tigers in the 2023 season. Join us on YouTube here. We'll also upload the audio to all your favorite podcast apps. You can catch us there. Daniel, what were some of the top talking points that you caught from Charlotte today?
First off, isn't it great to say 2023 season? I mean, we're almost there, right?
Yep.
Practice starts coming up, what, week and a half, I think. So I think the one that really kind of stood out for me was Dabo Sweeney talking about the graduate seniors who all decided to come back. And uh, that includes Tyler Davis and Will Putnam, who were both in Charlotte for the event. Some other guys as well, and we'll get into all those names. But I think that group, I think you're seeing some leadership from that group, and that's always a great thing. You know how big I am on quiet off seasons and leadership on a team and what that can mean to success for a team once the season starts. And I think you're seeing that with Tyler Davis and Putnam and Xavier Thomas, all those guys. We're seeing the videos of XT and what he looks like and just how great a shape he's in. So that was really the one that kind of jumped out at me.
Yep. I was glad to see Davis there. I think he's always been kind of a natural leader. He's certainly quite the personality for the team, right? I think he
Yep.
helps keep things on the brighter side of things, even when things might be getting a little bit down. Sounds like he's ready to win, though. I mean, you and I have talked about it before. It's not a stated team goal, from Coach Dabo Sweeney with the 5 goals for the season that he sets out every offseason, every summer. And though, that players come to Clemson wanting to win a national championship, wanting to be in the playoff, right? And so it means a lot, I think, for Davis to kind of come out and say the quiet part out loud, like, yeah, we want to win it all this year.
Well, Dabo said they didn't come back just to hang out in Tiger Town, right? I mean, they
Yeah,
came back to,
I would.
well, we did. Yes, we did. They came back to play and to win. And Davis even said the natty. And, you don't typically hear Dabo Sweeney say that until after they have the trophy in hand. And then he talks about it. Cade Klubnik said, look, I came here to win a national championship. I came here to win big. And it's so funny, we've talked about this and you and I have gone back and forth on this. And I know that I am usually the irrational one. They did win 11 games last year. They did win an ACC title, but it still feels like it was a disappointing season. A, because they lost to South Carolina, and then B, they lost those other 2 games where they looked really bad in both of those games. So it just feels like they've turned the page. The Garrett Riley hire kind of kick-started things into 2023. And these guys are ready to go. I can't wait to see what this team's going to look like this season.
Yep, Riley coming in hopefully will be something that can get Cade Klubnik ready to go. I mean, he has to be a mature quarterback and understand the system by week 4. And I know it's a smaller playbook, and that may help the odds. Klubnik really talked up his receivers quite a bit
Yep.
today too. Some strong compliments there, and that's a group that has to get better this year.
It does, and it's got to get healthy, right? I mean, Bo Collins has got to be healthy. Adam Randall has got to be healthy. And I think there's a different narrative if those guys are healthy. And then that's just a group with what they have coming back. If those 2 guys are healthy, then I think it's a totally different receiver core. And Antonio Williams, the year that he had last year, if you put him and those 2 guys healthy, and I really think that you're looking at a really good group going into this season. So, but Bill, how long have we talked about this receiving group need to be healthy? It's been 2 years, and Cole Turner's, if he plays the whole season, which we think he will after redshirting last year as well, he'll be a big piece of that puzzle. But we've looked for this group to be healthy for a while. And we've talked about the guys who couldn't stay healthy, Ngata and Ladson and those guys. They just could not stay healthy. That can't continue this season.
Absolutely. Hopefully they'll be in better shape than the quality of our surroundings on this live stream, right? Like you can tell how grassroots we are. We've got the info on our heads that we want to share. Are we great video producers? Probably not. But thanks for bearing with us. Hopefully this is a little bit better than the still image that we had all year last year. We're going to see what we can do to up our game a little bit. If the Tigers are going to up theirs, we probably should try to do the same, right? What about Coach Dabo Sweeney? I mean, you could see him afterward doing card tricks with Kelsey Riggs on social media and stuff like that. Dabo sometimes comes to these events and brings a lot of energy without having a ton of real concrete insight, right? And that's probably what you want a coach to do. You and I have talked about that before, but what did you pick up on from Coach Sweeney today besides those returning grad starters?
Yeah, I think he likes this group, right? I really do. First off, it's Dabo, not Dabo. We kept hearing Dabo during the show today.
Yeah.
It's Dabo. I think he likes this group. And look, I mean, Dabo is the ultimate optimist, right? I mean, even the last 2 years, he loved those teams. He talked them up, before the season and what they were going to bring to the team. And then we saw the struggles the last 2 years, and it weren't just offense. There were some struggles on defense last year, maybe not the year before. But I just feel like this team with Garrett Riley in place, I think he hit a home run there. I think he made the best hire of the offseason of anybody. They really needed to redo what they were doing on offense. They needed to rethink it. Everything, they just needed a fresh start. And I think they've got that. And that just feels like that has energized him, Bill. He just feels like he's ready to get this season going, and he likes this group. And I think it starts with that offense coordinator.
Well, and that needs to bring immediate dividends. I mean, Duke is not the usual opponent that you see in the Blue Devils. They turned things around a lot last year. I know Sweeney had good things to say today about Coach Mike Elko, how he kind of can't get rid of him. No matter how much he moves around, he's always on the Clemson schedule, right? So things have to be, buttoned up from week one. And I'm not going to say that Duke has, the recruiting accolades that, a playoff team not necessarily would have. But Elko definitely got the most out of them last year. You figure he's going to do the same this year. He's got his starting quarterback back in Riley Leonard. He's got some motivated players looking to take that next step. So Clemson can't just, travel to Durham and try to coast through and sleepwalk its way to a win. Or they'll be as disappointed leaving Durham as they were after that Gamecocks game or leaving Miami last year as well. Both of which, by the way, when you lose 2 of 3 to end the year, and thank goodness there was a convincing win over North Carolina in between those in the ACC championship game, but it really does leave a bad taste in your mouth when you lose to your rival. You play probably as badly as you could have played. You only lost by a point. Like, you should have won that game. There's no excuse for losing it. Some costly turnovers, an interesting decision or two as well. Certainly one of them being not running the ball, right?
Yep.
And then you get into that Tennessee game, marching the ball down the field consistently, but the lapses on defense, the inability for the offense to punch the ball in from the red zone. There needs to be enough of a, bad taste or bad lingering feeling from those 2 disappointing losses to go ahead, get into that Duke game and make sure you dot all your I's, cross all your T's, fully prepared. And Klubnik talked a little bit about that today, about wanting things to be very natural to him, wanting things to come kind of automatically to him and get in those reps. And that also speaks to that leadership that you're talking about.
It does. And I think you're seeing him grow into that role, right? I mean, Dabo said today that he's a natural leader. Well, you're also a freshman, right, last year, and you're the backup, and you've got a very popular starter among the teammates. People love DJ, right? The players love him. Everybody in the program loved him. So it's not like there were issues with DJ in the locker room where, okay, you come in, and if there were, then you take over, and maybe it's a little more, everybody's behind you and you can lead that way. It's hard to lead as a freshman. I mean, it really is hard to lead as a freshman. So I think that this year under his belt, Dabo said he's gained about 20 pounds since he got to the program. He's stronger, he's more fit, all of those things. I just feel like all of that, plus the new offense, plus Garrett Riley in his ear, everything is set up for Klubnik, I believe, to have a big time year. I'm not talking about Heisman's or any of that kind of stuff, but I know that everybody wants to talk about other quarterbacks in the conference and around the country. All that's fine, and acting almost like Cade is a huge question mark for this team. I don't see that. I think he's going to take that next step, that natural progression from what we saw when he barely played last year. I mean, he played a little bit, but not a ton. I think we're going to see a lot more of Cade Klubnik from the ACC championship game than we saw Cade Klubnik from the loss to Tennessee in the Orange Bowl.
As my wife and I say, that's the dream, right?
Yes.
So very good. Well, I think we covered the top storylines out of ACC Kickoff. Anything else you want to add in real quick before we go?
I just so ready for practice to get started and to start seeing the practice reports and who's performing well and who's not. I mean, all that stuff is really interesting to me. I mean, we're football nerds, right? I mean, that's what we do, and we love football. So just really, really excited to kind of get that stuff going next week. I know there's some teams have already started, like Notre Dame has started practice. I think Wisconsin started today. So really, really anxious to get that going.
All right. Well, we will keep you posted. As we mentioned in our last episode, we will be getting into position by position preseason breakdowns. We'll be getting into opponent by opponent breakdowns during this offseason leading up to that Labor Day weekend game at Durham against Duke. So until our next episode, hope you enjoyed seeing us on video for a change. I'm Bill Zimmerman.
I'm Daniel Shirley. Go Tigers.